Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Sir Stephen Topham Hatt the Third, at your service. We're going to talk about two subjects today, and we're going to talk about it very seriously, and we're going to tell you restoring and more information on safeguards around the globe. Now, a lot of you are going to ask two questions, which I'm going to explain entirely all in one swing. Starting with restoring, obviously, there are people at the Norfolk Railway, which is true, are selling mail carriages. Now, a lot of you might think, when you look at this carriage, you might think um, that needs restoring here and there, which is true, which I could clarify. And I also have a copy of that information. And they want to restore and give it a new home, basically. So it won't be at the Norfolk Railway. But they're not talking about engines or anything like that. So they're restoring, but they're not restoring it. Somebody is selling it to make it restore, else somebody else to restore it and continue and restore it to its natural glory. Now, the more safety in the information of the safeguards, it's more important to realize these safeguards are there for your protection. Now, the Hats are in control of this, not the government. So I'm not going to go involving in politics in this one. After the HS2 closed down, which is very beneficial for all of us, for anybody that's trying to reconnect old lines, for example, and reconnect all of that and restore people's homes, etc. It's more important, which is more clarified to deal with, and it's also more understandable. But to help you understand why these safeguards are put in place, it's because I want you to be aware that they're there for your protection. Nothing more, nothing less. These safeguards are there for a reason. A lot of it's to do with speed. Um, a lot of it is to do with heritage, which a lot of people keep forgetting about that these days. It's heritage, and a lot of people say we talk about it every damn day. Excuse my French. From other people. I'm not saying it just from my own personal angle, but everywhere else. Um, a lot of people are saying why 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 tempt fate and try and do something that's impossible for you to do in one swing? Now, if the government had prioritised on the HS2, on a different direction, a different approach, a different route, what is more important? What's the lines that are allowed to be used? Now, let me explain the railway connections here. They're dealing with the old LNER. They're dealing with the London North Western Railway Company as a whole. Two pieces become whole. Now, when people say London North Western Railway Company, what do you think of North Western Railway Company comes from? Well, obviously, you think of Thomas the Tank, obviously, the main majority. But the London North Eastern Railway is another connection reversibly. So, unfortunately, when people say, "Oh, we're restoring this carriage, but we're selling it off to from a Norfolk Railway to another railway organisation to give it a new home," which I probably agree with. But the thing is, that carriage they're trying to sell right now is a mail coach, which is like, duh, wake up and smell the coffee here. This is not a joke. And with the safeguard being put in place, they can't sell it for obvious reasons. And the reason they're trying to sell carriages off like that or coaches or whatever, because the North Norfolk Railway is running out of money, big bucks of money. I'm not saying in no general. Um, as a hat, I get to know things that a lot of people should know about. Don't get me wrong. I have settled this and said, look, the North Norfolk Railway is getting out of hand, which is upside down. It's the North Western Railway Company. So if you look at it logically, who's in the wrong in this? Because I've not done anything wrong. For starters, all I know is information comes in flying, but we're going to talk about the safeguards. Why are they important? Why are they more frequently important? First of all, a lot of people are asking about my wife or my lady Hatt. I can't get her because safeguards have been put in place for me. Not just technically, there's safeguards everywhere. And when I mean everywhere, I get to know things that people should tell me instantly on a record and say nothing more. But I know things that other people tend to pick up on. And they say, what? Why is the North Norfolk Railway selling rolling stock, for example? Why are they selling this? Why are they selling that? Why are they doing this? And the logical note on that is that when you when when things unfold naturally, don't intervene and jump in and say, right, we deal with this problem, we get it cleared up, well, we'll sweep it under the carpet, as they say, and say nothing. But the thing is, I have to be alerted about this because obviously being a hat, I get to know things, right? And the safeguards that my ancestors put in place, doesn't matter if it's my senior, it doesn't matter if it's my grandfather or my father or myself, we always putting safeguards in place for our family. We have a family to consider of. A family is more important than anything else around the globe. I don't have much left in any aspect, in any angle, and it does make you wonder why these safeguards have been put in place. It's in Scotland, it's in England, it's in Wales, it's in Canada, it's in Australia, it's in Sweden, it's in Norway, it's in Denmark. All of those places are all safeguarded by my family. So we know everything that goes on. You know, okay, a lot of people are respecting me. They're caring about me. They're putting me in the safety position. But when people say, what? They're restoring this, but and you're telling us a bit more about the safeguards are there for your protection. Not just for my family, but for yours as well. And that's the key element, the reason why we are standing still. The reason why we are hit the middle of the book, as they say. If the book was like half done, the other half hasn't been done yet. And that's the reason why people are judging the book by its cover and saying, what? A hat actually exists in Wells, Sheringham, for example, / Wellsworth. And I said, yep, indeed, in any angle. And because it is true, it's logical. So when people say, what's the next move? We have to prioritise. The North Norfolk Railway is losing money. They asking people to pay you. Let's just say the customers are paying like certain amount for Santa specials, for example, or something like that. And the only thing I can suggest in any angle, it doesn't matter which way you look at it, from a safety point of view and everything else. Just moving on from safeguards for a moment, I will get back to that topic. But the safeguards are there for a reason. But the actual restoring of a rolling stock or anything takes time. And sometimes the North Norfolk Railway, well known as the North Western Railway Company, is not in my control at the moment. And because without my young lady, obviously, being the key element of it all, that's another thing we have to reconsider of. You got my safeguards in place, you got a restoring of the rolling stock, but it's going to a new home, and then asking people to contact people to get it sold off. There's there's other ways and means of selling it without having to getting too many people involved that can't afford it. You need to find heritage where it's like we'll take it head on. You know, you don't want to scrap it and then take it to somewhere where people can't fix it all because you broke it all in pieces. You can't do that. You know, when you restore something from scratch, it'd be nice to restore it first, then sell it. That's the main key. The safeguards are that are protecting that as well. So the safeguards is not just protecting my family, it's protecting the road and it's protecting the rolling stock plus the engines on top. Thank you very much.